In this video, we'll be discussing OSHA's confined space requirements and what you should know to ensure safety in your workplace. Whether you work in construction, manufacturing, or any industry with confined spaces, it's crucial to understand the guidelines set by OSHA. So, let's get started. First of all, what is a confined space? According to OSHA, a confined space is an area that is not designed for continuous occupancy and has limited entry and exit points. Some common examples of confined spaces include tanks, silos, and tunnels. It's important to note that not all small spaces are confined spaces. To be considered a confined space, the area must have the potential for hazardous conditions, such as poor ventilation or toxic substances. Now let's look at OSHA confined space requirements. These standards include requirements for identifying and evaluating confined spaces, developing and implementing a written program for working in confined spaces, and ensuring workers are properly trained and equipped. Let's take a look at an example of confined space hazards and the precautions that should be taken. For instance, confined spaces that contain flammable or explosive substances pose a serious risk of fire or explosion. To prevent these hazards, it's important to properly ventilate the space and use non-sparking tools. Confined spaces that contain toxic substances pose a risk of poisoning, so workers should be equipped with appropriate personal protective equipment such as respirators. Another thing to keep in mind is the OSHA confined space training and certification. To work in a confined space, workers must be properly trained and certified. OSHA requires that workers receive training on confined space hazards and precautions, as well as on the use of personal protective equipment and rescue procedures. Employers must also ensure that their employees are certified and qualified to work in confined spaces. OSHA's confined space requirements are in place to ensure the safety of workers in potentially hazardous environments. By understanding OSHA's requirements for working in them and the hazards and precautions associated with them, you can help keep your workplace safe and compliant. One tool that can help you stay on top of your safety training is using our Safety Toolbox Talk app. This app allows you to easily deliver consistent and effective safety training to your employees, so you can ensure that everyone is up to date on the latest safety protocols. Click the link below to learn more. Save valuable time by making it easy for your employees to consume safety talks from their own devices, and acknowledge training at the click of a button. As a safety manager, you can use our Toolbox Talk library to create and schedule safety talks days, weeks, and months in advance, all while saving time and boosting workplace safety. Your employees will have the flexibility to complete safety training anywhere and anytime, enabling managers to focus on other tasks, while still educating employees about critical safety protocols completely automated. Click the link below to request a demo.